Good morning to all of you. So today we will start with the new chapter 8, electricity. So these are the contents that we are going to discuss today. Electricity, then what are the few sources of electricity, electrical energy and its measurement, electrical power, SI unit of power, commercial unit of electrical energy, relation between kilowatt hour and joule, transmission of the power from the generating station to the consumer, supply of electricity from city substation to our station. So these contents we will discuss. So let's start with the discussion. So very first topic that you have already studied in the previous classes, what is electricity? So as we have discussed few forms of electricity in the previous chapters, like we have discussed about the heat energy, that is a measure of hotness and coldness. Then we have discussed about the sound, which produces the sensation of hearing in our ears. Electricity is also one of the basic forms of energy. We use electricity to run number of appliances such as fan, refrigerator, washing machine, etc. It is a controllable and convenient form of energy, and it has, without electricity, almost everything is now impossible. So these are the few appliances that you must have seen in your homes. So in our day-to-day life, these appliances are very necessary for us, and in order to run these appliances or in order to use these appliances, we need electricity. So any technological advancement is impossible without the application of electricity. Few sources of electricity, like electric cell, you must have seen the dry cell which is used in the torch or in the watches. Then you must have seen the batteries. Many of us have seen the batteries that we have used, like in cars, scooters, bikes, or it is joined along with the inverter also. Then the solar cell, the new advancement in electricity, solar cell which is using the solar energy in order to produce the electricity. And the main supply, the supply that is actually coming to our homes. And the last is electric generator. This is also one of the familiar source of electricity. Whenever the electricity fails, the generator has been used in the homes, factories, or in the marriages. So these are the few sources of electricity that you have seen. Now, since we have said electricity is an important form of energy, so let's see what is electrical energy. As we know that flow of electron constitutes an electric current. So in the previous classes also we have studied that what is electric current. Whenever there is a flow of charge in a conductor, it causes the electric current, and the direction of that current is taking opposite to the direction of the movement of the electron. Suppose Q is the charge that flows through a conductor in time t, then the strength of current through the conductor is given as I equal to charge that flows upon time taken, that is I is Q by T. Here I is used for the current. The SI unit of current is ampere, and it is named after the scientist Andre Marie Ampere. Now, what causes the flow of current? When the two charged bodies are connected with the help of the conductor, the electrons flow from the conductor from the body with higher concentration of electrons to the body with lower concentration of electrons. As we already knew that when we have studied the chapter heat, what we studied, that heat is the energy that flows from the body at higher temperature to the lower temperature. Similarly, you must have seen the water flows from the higher concentration to the lower concentration automatically. Same is the case with the flow of current. Whenever the two charged bodies are there, one is having the higher concentration of the electrons that we called as the negatively charged body, and one is having the lower concentration of the electrons that we called as the positively charged body. Whenever there is a concentration difference, then there is a flow of current. Hence the current is said to be flowing through the conductor. Now here you can see how the flow of electrons can take place. This is the negatively charged body, this is the positively charged body. Negatively charged body means excess of electrons, and positively charged body means excess of protons, that is less number of electrons. So current flows from negatively charged body to positively charged body. Now if the negatively charged conductor is been attached to uncharged body, then again since it is at the zero potential or it is uncharged, so current is again starts flowing from negatively charged body to uncharged body. Then an uncharged conductor to positively charged body. Suppose a uncharged body is there and positively charged body are connected together, so electron starts flowing from the uncharged body to the positively charged body. So this is how the flow of electrons takes place, and this flow of electron constitutes the electric current. Now what causes this flow of electron? And since the charge is moving from one point to the another point, so there is a term which is known as the potential difference, and electric potential difference between the 2 points in electric current is defined as the work done to move a unit charge from one point to the other. So actually potential difference is work done in moving a unit charge from one electrode of the cell to other. So we can say that potential difference between the 2 points is work done upon charge. The SI unit of electric potential is volt. We write it as capital V. It is named after the scientist Alessandro Volta, that was an Italian physicist. So if there is no potential difference, that is no difference between the concentration of electron from one end to the other end, then there will be no flow of current, and the work done which is per unit charge is known as the potential difference between the 2 points. So we know that current is Q upon T, or we can say that Q equal to I into T. Also we have just seen potential difference is work done per unit charge, so we can say that work done is Q into V. So when we substitute the value of Q here, we got work done equal to I into T into V, or V into I into T. Now this work done will be equal to the electrical energy consumed in an electrical circuit. So we can say that whatever work done has been done, it will be stored in the electrical circuit as the electrical energy. So electrical energy also is V into I into T, and since it is a form of energy, so its SI unit is also called as joule. Next is electrical power. So in physics, the rate of doing work is known as the power. Therefore the electric work done per unit time is called as electric power. So like we have just seen that potential difference is the work done in carrying the unit charge from one point to another. So rate of that doing electric work per unit time is called as electrical power. That is electric power equal to electrical energy consumed upon time taken. Now we know that SI unit of work is joule and SI unit of time is second. So SI unit of power is known as joule per second, which is also known as watt. So what is 1 watt? The power of 1 watt is a rate of 1 joule of work done per unit time, that is 1 joule per second. Electrical power is the rate at which electrical energy is consumed. Now since we have seen the power is the 1 watt is 1 joule per second, so it is a small unit, therefore we use the bigger unit of electrical power called kilowatt, that is 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 watt for the commercial purpose. Also the commercial unit of power is horsepower. So all the electrical appliances are rated in terms of the electrical power, like the amount of energy they consumed in 1 second. For example, if a bulb of 60 watt is there, then we can say that the bulb will consume 60 joule of electrical energy in 1 second. So 1 horsepower is equals to 746 watt. Next is commercial unit of electrical energy. So SI unit of electrical energy is joule, that we already knew, but it is considered to be very small. So for commercial purpose a bigger unit, kilowatt hour, is used. So when an electrical appliance consumes electrical energy, the amount of energy that is consumed is unified as kilowatt hour. So the power rating of an electrical appliance is the highest power input allowed to flow through the particular appliance, and 1 kilowatt hour is the amount of electrical energy consumed when an electrical appliance having a power rating of 1 kilowatt is used for 1 hour. For example, suppose if you are having an electric iron at your home and its power rating is 1 kilowatt. So if you use it continuously for 1 hour, then it will consume the power, then it will consume the electrical energy equal to 1 kilowatt hour. So this 1 kilowatt hour is written as like this: small k, capital W, then small h, and it is also known as BOTU, that is Board of Trade Unit. So since electrical energy SI unit is joule, but commercial unit we are using as kilowatt hour, so there is a relation between kilowatt hour and joule. So we know that 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 watt and 1 hour equal to 60 into 60 seconds. So when we solve, we get the value as 36 lakh watt second, or in short we can write 3.6 into 10 raised to the power 6 joule. So this is the relation between 1 kilowatt hour and 1 joule. Now the question comes, how this electrical power is transmitted from generating station to the consumer. Since electricity is generated at the power generating stations, like thermal power stations are there, hydro power stations are there. These power stations are connected to one another with a network of cables known as grids. Normally these power stations are located at places that are very far away from the cities and towns. So the power generated at the power generating stations is transmitted to our homes through a national grid system. So this you must have seen whenever you are going through the train, then you must have seen the huge towers or grids that are there in the fields which are carrying the wires. Those are the transmission wires, and since these power stations are located at the very far places away from the cities and towns, so this generated power is transmitted to our home through the national grid transmission system. So here is a figure of the national transmission of electric power. So this is the electric power station. Okay, it may be hydroelectric power station, it may be thermal electric power station. From here, the power stations generate electricity at 11,000 volt or 11 kilovolt with an alternating frequency of 50 hertz. Now 50 hertz means the polarity at the terminal changes 100 times a second, that is, it will be plus for 50 times and minus for the 50 times. So power generated at the electric power station is transmitted to grid substation over the long distance. At the grid substation, the alternating voltage is increased. This is the grid substation. This is a step-up transformer, its function is to increase the value of this voltage. So it has been increased from 11 kilovolt to 132 kilovolt. Now this is the grid substation. The alternating voltage has been increased with the help of a step-up transformer. Now from this grid substation, this power has been transmitted to main substation. Now here the step-down transformer is there, and since step-up is increasing the value of the voltage, step-down is decreasing the value of the voltage. So at this station, voltage is stepped down from 132 kilovolt to 33 kilovolt. Now this energy is used, this electric power is transmitted to heavy industries. Okay, heavy industries need the high voltage, so this electric power is transmitted to heavy industries. Now from these main substations, this energy has been again, this electric power is again transmitted, and it is further stepped down by the use of step down transformer. So from here it is stepped down to 11 kilovolt. This is known as the intermediate substation. This electric power is transmitted to light industries or small industries and city substations. So from this intermediate substation, the power has been transmitted to these kind of light industries. Now again, since it has been transferred to the city substation, so again it is step down. Step down means again its voltage has been decreased. So here voltage has been decreased to 220 volt, that is the standard power rating at our home. So this 220 volt enters our home for the daily consumption. So this is how the electric power is transmitted from one point to another, from electric power station to grid substation, from grid substation to main substation. From there it has been transmitted, it has been supplied to heavy industries as well as to the intermediate substation. Again the voltage has been stepped down and it has been transferred to the intermediate substation and has been transmitted to the light industries. At the city substation, again this high voltage of 11 kilovolt is stepped down by using the step down transformer, and this 220 volt has been supplied to the home at the town area or the villages. So this is how transmission of electrical power has been done. So electricity that flows to our homes is generated in power stations. From here it flows through large transmission lines which carry it to substations, and finally distribution lines carry electricity from substations to houses, businesses and schools. So now when the electricity reaches our home, it is transmitted to our homes with the help of overhead wires or by the underground cables. So these cable contains three types of wire. One is live wire or phase wire, neutral wire or earth wire. So in order to avoid any confusion or error in designing the domestic circuit wiring, the wires are identified by certain color codes. Now first is live wire. Live wire are the wire that transfer the electrical energy from the source to all the appliances connected in the domestic circuit through the switchboard. So you must have seen, if you have seen the electrical cable contains three wires, among which only one wire which is having the electric current, and that wire is known as the live wire. So live wire is connected directly to the main electric supply, and this wire carries around 220 to 240 volt current as per the Indian standards of domestic circuit. What is the function of neutral wire? Neutral wire return the electricity back to the main supply from all the connected appliances, and these wires are maintained at zero voltage level. So according to the new internationally accepted convention, the live wire is identified by brown color, neutral wire by light blue color, of its insulation and earth wire by green and yellow color. So these were the old conventions. These were the old conventions when the brown is used for the live wire or red is used for the live wire, green was used for the earth wire, and red is used for the live wire was used, and green for the earth wire, and black for the neutral wire. Now these are the new conventions. We can use green or yellow for the earth wire, light blue or blue for the neutral wire, and brown color for the live wire. Now what is the function of earth wire? Whenever we switch on any appliances or a metallic appliances, it always carries a excess amount of charge. So earthing is a process in which exposed metal parts of electric circuit are connected to the ground, so that the electrical appliances such as heater, iron box can be run safely, and whatever the excess charge is there, that excess charge is always flows through the ground, so that it avoids the shock or the main function of earth wire is to avoid the accidental shock due to any possible electric leakage. The earth wire has very low resistance, so that any current which has been leaked on the ground of the metallic conductor is easily transferred from the body to the ground. So this is the function of the earth wire, to avoid any accidental shock due to any possible electric leakage, as well as to flow the excess amount of charge to the ground. So this is the end of today's discussion. In the next video we will discuss the topics after this, color coding of live and neutral and earth wires. Thank you.